What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're living like this could be a final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. You already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We're living. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, 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 we come alive. We come alive. Oh, 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 we come alive. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone today? Happy Monday. Almost 300 in the chat. Let's get those thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, please. I hope you are all staying cool in the sweltering heat. If it's hot where you are, it is very, very hot. Here in the United Kingdom, we're having a heat wave, and my house is one of those houses that just gets so warm when it's hot and so cold when it's cold. But I'm actually moving out of the place that I'm in at the moment very soon. So hopefully where I'm going, it will be a lot better. But these old Victorian English houses, they were just not built for certain types of weather. But enough of me complaining like a typical British person about the weather. Lots of good news today to talk about, and very unexpected good news. But we love that. We love it because we know that when the Sussexes are at their most quiet is when they're at their most busy. And while the Unroyal Mafia and the British press rats are running around like headless chickens, the Sussexes are outmaneuvering them, and quite frankly, not even trying to outmaneuver them. They're just minding their own business, and they seem to outmaneuver them every single time. So, hello to everybody in the chat. Church Nelly, I won a tall drink of nacho. Oh my gosh. Are we gonna have to ban you from Montecito, Church Nelly? Oh dear. Smidu, love ending my nights with my squad diehard peeps. Thank you so much for being here. See us in the chat. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Alita. Hi, Lucy. Karen M. Hi, Verda. Rosa. Denise here. Hi, Karen. All the way from Canada. Yes, welcome everybody to the chat. So I'm actually going to make today a relatively quick one. So, hello, Kim. Let's get to some of the other stories before we get to the meat, as usual. So, anybody who wanted Meghan's shoe, as usual, sold out. This was a shoe that she wore to the 4th of July parade. I think she's actually worn this before, but that company probably was not expecting some free publicity this week. So that is a shoe, and it looks very comfortable if you want to buy it. I'm sure they'll probably restock it. But the Meghan effect taking effect again. Over in Sri Lanka, there was this funny picture that came out. Now, the Sri Lankan presidential palace was raided, and the PM has actually now stepped down. And this is a picture of the protesters watching themselves inside. Can you imagine a scene like this in Buckingham Palace one day? Like, I feel like we're getting closer and closer to the day where that happens. And the reason I say that is because of this. There are now several stores in the UK that are offering free meals for children because of the cost of living crisis. They reckon around 4.5 million people are now struggling because of the cost of living crisis. And that is inflation on food items, on gas, and things like travel. So you have a lot of cafes, eateries, and supermarkets offering kids eat free, for example, at Asda Cafe for £1 every day with no need for a paying adult. Then you've got like Bella Italia, kids eat for £1 with each adult meal. So different places offering, and this is just such a bad sign. Martin Lewis, who is quite a well-known financial expert here in the UK, saying, "Can't believe I'm writing this, but I wonder if this winter we will need warm banks, the equivalent of food banks for people who can't afford heating, are invited to spend their days at no cost with heating, e.g., libraries, public buildings." That would not surprise me at all. You see quite often homeless people on the underground to keep warm, or sometimes in supermarkets, like parking areas. So it wouldn't surprise me if we had a situation like this at all, because it just seems to be getting worse. And if you've got big business helping more than actually the government is at this point. That is the unfolding situation in the United Kingdom. I just saw a comment that I wanted to read out. Sylvia, Duchess of Success, the sisters have left that foolishness on that island behind them, and they work in their own schedule. So bottom line, Harry and Meghan have moved on. Indeed, they have. But people on this island are acting like a scorned ex that just can't let go. And to be honest, it's really only being driven by the vipers in grey suits and people in the palaces. If they didn't have their press hounds attacking the Sussexes every single day, this would not be in the public conscious. All right, so that's that. On to the next thing. So Stella Parton, who spoke about the British tabloid press the other day, and her own mistreatment that she suffered. but also about Meghan's mistreatment. She's now being quoted, and the story is being picked up by other news outlets. This one where she says Americans were insulted and shocked by the treatment of Duchess Meghan. So it's great to see other prominent people now speaking out about it. And we need more people to speak out about the treatment of the UK press towards Harry and Meghan, because they have not, and I don't think they will for a long time, stop deploying their trolls. And the most prominent troll, I think, of all is Angela Latrine. Now, Angela Latrine, of course, if you didn't know or you've forgotten, is actually writing Camilla's biography. And it's just some sick and twisted situation where they've got going on, where they've got this glorified stalker on news, sorry, on TV shows, talking about Harry as if she knows him, talking about Meghan as if she knows her. This woman spent barely 15 minutes talking to Harry and just turned it into a whole career. She speaks about him and Meghan's relationship like she knows them. She does not. And this is the person who Camilla picked of all people. And I heard a squaddy say something earlier today in Spaces. I don't know how true this is. Maybe somebody else can double confirm if you heard it also. But apparently, Angela at one point publicly stated that Camilla had been cruel to Harry. And we wouldn't have even known that if she hadn't said that. And it doesn't surprise me, to be honest, if Camilla was cruel to him. She was pretty cruel to his mother, and she does seem like that ugly, evil stepmother. Despite that, though, Harry has always been just kept it classy, as he does with everything. He's never publicly dismissed her, but I think he's also been very respectful to his mother and not, being overly supportive of her presence, because I don't think even the public would like that. But he's always kept it classy, and to now see Charles and Camilla buddying up to the likes of Angela Latrine, buddying up to Rothermere, giving him kisses on the cheeks in public, it's just disgusting. This is not a family. This is an evil organization, and I just can't. I couldn't be happier that Harry and Meghan escaped, and they are really, really freaking out about Harry's biography. And someone from Publisher Lunch tweeted, UK media still doesn't understand that Prince Harry's Prince Harry's publisher will not announce or promote Prince Harry's book until it's ready to ship. But ultimately, they don't know what's written in that book. And I still stand by my own prediction that this book, if it goes after anyone, will go after the Vipers in grey suits and the British tabloids. I don't actually think that it's going to go too hard on his family. I've also said in the past that I feel like this book will have a bit more of that of a Michelle Obama becoming kind of vibe. Like, these were my struggles, but this is how I triumphed through those struggles, and it will have a very inspirational, uplifting message. I don't think this book is going to go too hard. And the reason I keep saying that is because I actually think that Harry's going to write another book. And there's nothing to say that he won't write another book that's a little bit more intense. But that is just my 2 cents and my prediction. Not saying I'm right, but I just don't think this book, as with everything, is going to be what the firm thinks it will. And I think we'll be very surprised. Maybe Camilla is paying Angela to say cool things about Meghan and Harry. It wouldn't surprise me if she is being paid by the palace, because you've got to remember that a lot of these shows like Good Morning Britain and Jeremy Vine, they're all part of the propaganda machine. So, I didn't watch every single clip of this Angela Latrine segment but I didn't hear a single person actually bring up the fact that she is writing Camilla's biography. But I did like there was a woman who did push back and say, well, if you can write about the royals, why can't Harry write about himself? And she was so flustered and she didn't know how to respond. She sounded like an absolute idiot. And it's just time that she is just taken off the airwaves. But she's part of the propaganda machine. So I think that she will be around for a while. Yes, Arnold. Harry even did take up for Camilla, and he had no reason to be honest. Beverly, Angela, and all the other rats don't know a thing about the book or when it's coming out. The publisher has made a statement plainly for the UK rats to understand. Yeah, and they always show themselves when they start panicking like this. Like we saw this with the Oprah interview. Michael Harry has a 3-book deal, so he's going to write 2 other books besides the one that's coming out by the end of the year. Yeah, I keep saying this. I don't think this book is going to be the bombshell they think it is at all, at all. And it's not because Harry and Meghan aren't afraid to, are afraid to speak their truth. But there's a lot of things that they said, both in the Oprah interview and Harry said in the Me You Can't See, that I didn't expect either of them to say. But it's because I don't think that this is the time for Harry to write a huge bombshell book. Of course, Harry's going to do whatever he wants to do, but that's just my prediction. I think they're honestly just freaking out for no down reason. Church Honey, I'm buying Harry's book. Honey, we're all buying that book. I'll be buying the Kindle and the hard copy as well. Angela, I agree. It will be more like Michelle Obama's book, of course. And that's not me, by the way, comparing their life experiences. I'm just saying the tone of the book is what I'm trying to say. I think Harry's book will be like, and I think if you've read Michelle Obama's Becoming, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I'm not at all comparing their life experiences, of course. Okay, on to the next thing. Now Wimbledon. Um, so Dickie Donkey Sanctuary Arbiter, the father of apartheid Barbie, did an interview and he basically confirmed what we already know, that there has clearly been a separation in the Cambridge household. The reason I say he confirmed it is because he vehemently denied that there was anything amiss in the Cambridge household. And once they do that, um, you know that there is something wrong. Otherwise, he would have just stayed silent. The more they protest, the more it just becomes obvious. And there was this very strange body language and behavior when they arrived at the Wimbledon. You had William greeting George like he hadn't seen him for weeks. Um, these did not look like people who had or who do live under the same roof. And then you had William pecking his wife on the cheek like they haven't seen each other for ages either, or more like they're acquaintances. And a lot of people did pick up on the fact that once again, George was in a suit in the sweltering heat. It was so hot yesterday. I think it's just cruel that they put this child in a suit. I didn't even see him take his jacket off at any point during the match, and it was sweltering heat. From the moment he walked in and started shaking people's hands, you could see that the child's George's body language was just very sad, very down. He wasn't really making eye contact with anyone. And I just think it's so cruel. And I don't understand how the general public, and it's not just me that's picked this up, several people said this. I don't understand how the general public can have more sympathy for these children than their own parents. And I have no reason to have sympathy for these children, to be honest. They're not my children. They live very privileged lives, but I'm a human being and I can see what is happening here. And I just think it's so cruel that their parents keep using them for PR and that they're being thrust into royal life like this. I mean, George is only what, 8 or 9 years old? Like, there's no one other than the royal rota rats who is begging to see these children. And that's really all it benefits is the rota rats because they get new pictures of the kids because the kids are probably pulling in more money than their parents. At least for the dumb royalists who are still interested or and obsessed with seeing the royal children. And it benefits their parents because it distracts from all of those separation rumors. So I don't know. I hope they hear or somebody in the palace hears and the outrage from the public, and these children are just allowed to be children because you should not be having a child out here in sweltering heat in a suit. If he's gonna show up, just let him wear normal clothes. I don't understand it. Oh, Sharpie, imagine if Meghan wrote a book. I'm sure she's probably been writing her book for a while, but I don't think Meghan's book will come out anytime soon. And I do think there will be a time for Meghan's book. Um, I mean, listen, Meghan can do what she wants and release whatever she wants whenever she wants, but I don't personally feel I'm looking at this from a PR perspective. I don't feel like now is the time for her book. I think that time will come. It's just not now. Um, and food. Them arbiters are grateful for the scraps they receive from the dysfunctional royal family. Indeed, they're still fighting for scraps. Did Skull and Bones come in separate cards? I believe they did. Hi, Joseph. And the Sussexes have enough dirt and receipts to write a 10-volume series. Exactly. That's why I don't think there'll just be one book. Emerald, why don't they let the kids be kids? Everybody keeps asking that question. I mean, look at the amount of space between William and Kate constantly. If this was Meghan and Harry, oh my goodness, the body language experts wouldn't shut up. And yet we never hear from them when it comes to these two. Pretty face. I believe that Harry is waiting for his grandmother to pass before he spills. Yeah, I think so also. I think so also. Okay. Also at Wimbledon. Now there was a funny incident where Nick Kai is it Kyrgios? Is that how you say it? Was yelling to the umpire because there was a woman in a polka dot dress who was acting drunk and who kept on talking to him. Now, uh, Kate was in a polka dot dress, and a lot of people initially thought that he was talking about her. But there was also another woman who was photographed there in a polka dot dress, and some people were saying it was her. I think she spoke to the newspapers and says that it wasn't her and that she wasn't drunk. I don't know. I just whether it's true or not, I find the whole thing hilarious. He I don't think he bowed when he approached Kate, and the Daily Beast, which is a Murdoch mouthpiece, was saying that he couldn't pull it together for Kate Middleton. Um, I don't think that he has to bow to her or treat her any differently. So good for him for not doing that. I know that there are some allegations, some abuse allegations regarding him. So I think that's why they used that headline. Can't even put it together for Kate Middleton. But that's a whole nother issue. I'm just glad, even if he is an idiot in his personal life, that he did not bow to Kate Middleton because these people need to learn that they're nothing special anymore. So yeah, that was that at Wimbledon, and also I wonder if this is the new way that they're trying to fish for attention, where Kate just does everything that Meghan was criticized for. So back in 2008, Meghan could not wear her straw hat. I've never heard any rules about anyone not being able to wear a straw hat at Wimbledon or wear a hat at Wimbledon at all. But Duchess Doolittle was flashing her straw hat very proudly. I'm very annoyed at this because I've just gotten into hats. But I'm not going to let this ruin hats for me. Um, But yeah, that was all the other stories. Before we get onto the main story, let's just get through your comments. Chodasisi, that 8-year-old boy is under duress from his petulant dad. He's been groomed early within the bowels of the institution system and lifestyle. They never listen to anyone ever. Yeah, and I just can't believe that he he literally just wants to groom his son to be like him. He wants his son to be as miserable as he is. I don't understand it. Yeah, Lynn, Archie's just over in Wyoming sucking on his lollipop and waving his American flag. Not trapped in a gilded prison like those other kids. Verda, I believe the bombshell will come after his grandmother passed away. He probably won't do anything when she's alive. Yeah, I don't think he'll say anything to bombshell when she's alive. Um, yes, cookies and cream. What the royals put the kids through is ridiculous. Joyce, they don't have to bow at the tennis match anymore. Yeah, but you know they'd if they had it their way, they'd make it part of protocol. All right. On to the nice story of the day. Harry will be giving a speech at the UN General Assembly on Nelson Mandela Day on July 18th in recognition of the former South African president's contribution to the culture of peace and freedom. And this is quite interesting because obviously Britain had a lot to do with um, the whole freedom struggle situation, and so it'll be interesting to to hear what exactly what Harry says. If he said, I mean, anything Harry says, no matter how non-controversial, will be taken the wrong way and seen as controversial. But just given Britain's involvement, it'll be interesting to hear what he says and if he does say anything that ruffles some feathers. And Harry and Winnie Mandela, and also I think Mandela's daughter, I believe is that her daughter? Um, sorry, his daughter have met before. So I think that's wait. Can someone please correct me if I'm wrong? But the lady in the red wrap, is that Mandela's daughter? Or no, with H, with Gracia Michelle, former first lady, and the great Mandela's widow. Okay. Um, but yeah, there is a connection there, and there is also a connection with his mother. Diana did meet Mandela, and there's a picture when Harry and Meghan were in South Africa, seeing that picture. And it's when I see pictures like this, Mandela, Diana, I realize that we are really losing, or sorry, we lost so many of our greats too soon. I mean, and they're not being replaced by people who have um the same level of substance and sense of vigor and want for positive change. And that's quite heartbreaking, that we don't really have, um or we're losing a sense of having role models like this. And it's just why it's so important, and I have so much respect for Harry for trying his best to continue his mother's work, and Meghan standing by his side, and in her own contributions also, helping to continue Diana's legacy and creating a legacy of their own. But yeah, that should be fun. I don't know because they haven't said if Meghan will be with him, but Meghan obviously has her own history with the UN General Assembly and others affiliated with the UN. The UN. She gave a speech at UN Women. That's her in the black with, I think that was one of the representatives from South Korea at the time, and that was when she gave her speech for UN Women. And as you can imagine, Harry was trending. Um, and I'm sure there's a lot of blood capillaries that have popped. High blood pressure today. Because this really is a surprise. Like of all of the things that we probably were, sorry, that we were waiting for, this was not one of them. They've all been waiting, and we've all been waiting. I say they as in the haters because they're waiting as much as we are for archetypes. Was not expecting this at all. And given that Harry has met um, Mandela's widow, I wonder if she had something to do with this because she did say at the time of their meeting, "It's wonderful meeting you. I'm sure we're going to be working together in the future. I can feel the vibe." So, um, yeah, coming full circle. Joyce, you know, H&M will probably do other engagements while they're there and not just the keynote. Yeah, of course. So we can probably expect them to meet with some other people as well. Um, Marina, Monday could not come quick enough. Indeed. Rosa, that just it was Kate drunk at the tennis. The gal said she was. Well, I haven't seen any definitive evidence, so I'm just gonna take it as like a funny joke for now because it is hilarious. It would be hilarious if it was true. Palmer, since Britain was involved, it's fitting that Harry was asked to speak. Yes. Sylvia, oh, granddaughter. Okay. Valerie, Willie will be jealous of Harry speaking at the UN. Indeed. But if it was Willie speaking at the UN, what would he even say? Cookies and cream. The Unrules opened up a Pandora's box by letting Meghan be abused and disrespected. It's now open season on all members of the Unroyal family. They shouldn't expect any difference. Indeed. I mean, they tried to dig a grave for Harry and Meghan, and they just dug a second grave for themselves, and that's what happens. And they're so busy concentrating on everything that Harry and Meghan do. Harry and Meghan are minding their own business. I mean, was anybody expecting this? I wasn't. I was just waiting for archetypes. And this is a problem. They're spending too much time focusing on them and not themselves. Gift love, you're so right. And that's why good world citizens like Harry and Meghan should be supported. Indeed. We are really losing our greats. I think I'm gonna this summer try and like read more about people like Mandela and the Dalai Lama, and I just feel like there's so much wisdom in what they had to say in their lives that is going to get lost, and we have to make sure that we read about and keep their legacy alive so we can pass that on to the younger generations. Chosen to be his. I noticed they never asked William to do anything on behalf of his mother. Harry's always front and center when it comes to his mum. Yeah, and that's interesting because when it suits William, he will use his mother. When he was willing to be a mouthpiece and call her paranoid because of the BBC um, debacle, he was willing to call her paranoid in front of the world. And they'll use the children like on birthdays and have these cute cards that the children do for Granny Diana. So he'll use his mum when it suits him. But you're right, it does seem to be Harry who shows up and shows out the most for his mum, and who seems the most vocal about carrying on her legacy. And just seeing Princess Diana brings tears to my eyes. Gone too soon, indeed. What the world could have had. But her legacy has inspired so many people, and there's nothing that the firm has been able to do all these years to kill her legacy. And we will keep it alive, and Harry and Meghan will. Joyce, Meghan will probably be there to support her husband. This is a big deal. I can't see her not being there. You know, they never let us know where they'll be until it's close to time. Indeed. All right, that's all, guys and dolls. I'm just going to get through your comments. And if anybody would like to give us the last word of the day, FYI, um, I'm not going to speak about it in too much detail today, but my new website is now live, and I will just let you have a browse if you want to. If you're interested in traveling more, digital nomadism, becoming a nomad, remote work, starting an online business, all of that fancy stuff, there is going to be tons and tons of stuff like coming on my website. But I will let you have a browse and also give me some feedback on how it looks. If you think it's good, if you think it's bad, and if you're interested in anything on the site, do feel free to message me. But let's wrap the podcast up for today. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mod Squad. And please do thumbs up and hit the subscribe button before we finish. Joseph, the tabloids haters are licking their chops and sharpening their knives over the prospects of a good payday for Harry's upcoming speech. They will lose their minds, indeed. All eyes are going to be on the Sussexes. Sylvia, yes, I'm sure Mandela wanted Harry to speak. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely it would have been them to ask him because I've met before. So what an honor. And you know, Harry's public speaking has really improved. And 1988 champions. I do believe Meghan will be there. This is one of the biggest speeches that he has ever given on a global stage. Megs will be there cheering on her man. So thank you for that comment, 1988 champions. I do believe that the speech will be live streamed. And of course, as soon as I find out where it will be live streamed, where you can watch it, I will let you know. Joyce Archwell may be doing a project with the Mandela Foundation. That would be awesome. Benjamin, and you're making me feel old. I remember when he was in prison and then released. I was in high school. Oh, you're as young as you feel. You're as young as you feel. And 1988 champions, I can see that family in the near future trying to get a speaking gig at the UN. Oh, well, I mean, if they were interested in that, they could have done it already. They tried to send Ford Fiesta to New York to meet with the UN, and it just caused no splash. So I hope they don't make themselves look like idiots. Margaret, Mandela had gone to visit Diana's place where she's resting before he died. He said he was devastated. What, at the actual the family's estate? Did he actually visit the estate? Didn't know that. Look into that. Oops. Hey, sister, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much, Lydia. Yes, it took me days to get this website together. And I hope that if you're somebody that likes travel, or you want to travel more, or you want to solo travel as a woman, you can or you'll find that useful. Thank you so much, Kat Harlem. Agnes, I hope you get loads of endorsement and turn it into a mini tig. Well, it won't quite be a mini tig. I guess there's going to be lots of travel stuff on it. But thank you so much for the comparison. I definitely took inspiration, like in terms of it's a lot of clean lines and very easy to navigate. Trader CC, William is a lost soul, deeply wedged into the bowels of the fan. You write so amazing, Trader CC, by the way. Like, I don't know if you all have seen her or him. I don't actually know if is it are you a her or a him? Or please let us know what you prefer to be called. But their comments that they leave are incredible and they're always so well thought out. So thank you for always taking the time to write amazing comments. But as you're saying, the right with fanatics and there's no way backwards. He's a cold-hearted, insensitive, and evil. Indeed. It goes without saying. But you said it very well. And it's just sad. It's like, can you imagine living an existence like this? Why? Why? I mean, you choose misery over joy. I don't understand. All right, who is going to get the last word of the day? Thank you so much for the feedback on the website, everyone. Who's going to get the last word of the day? Kat Harlem. Thank you so much for the super chat. The haters are already whining a person of color should be speaking. Instead of Harry, they've also pulled out the Nazi picture. Well, James Middleton, his company is actually being, or his former company, because it went bankrupt and he had to sell it, is being investigated because they were printing Nazi memorabilia for their for some of their customers. So they can focus on that. I think that Harry has shown enough growth and enough remorse for his previous actions that they don't need to keep pulling that out. If you want a standard for accountability, Harry is that standard. So that Nazi picture has no more power anymore. And I think if whatever Harry's going to say, I think is going to be very impactful. And I think he's going to understand the privilege that he has and use that privilege very wisely. So the haters can chat. I think that Harry's going to give a fantastic speech. And who's to say that he won't actually invite someone to speak with him? Who knows? Thank you so much, Marina. Having a look at the site. All right. Who's going to get the last word of the day? Oh gosh, the trolls have come in. The trolls have come in, so now it's definitely time to give somebody the last word of the day. I saw a very nice comment that I was going to put up. Okay, Marilyn, this is a full circle moment. First, Meghan speaks at the UN. Now, Harry. It is indeed a full circle moment. It is a wonderful moment. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining and being patient with me today, because I don't know if you can tell, but my speech is a lot more slurred today. And I've been a little bit all over the place because it is so hot here and it's definitely affecting me. So I'm going to go get a super cold drink. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are. Thank you, everyone, once again. And let's dance our way out. See you tomorrow. Bye.
You say all the right things when I'm hurting. You always pick me up when I am down. It's like you have a spark that leaves me burning. Yeah, you just have your ways to get me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right when I'm around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You get me high. You're my drug when I am feeling blue. Yeah, it's all you. 'Cause you're the one. touch me in a way that makes me shiver. Sometimes I can't believe that you are mine.